Right. So for episode number 9, I think, of the podcast, this point, we're welcoming Dearbhaile, the great and powerful Byrne, to the body. How are you, Durs? That's good.
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Not a bother. I wanted to actually just start off with a question with your name, Dearbhaile. All right, because when I hear the name Dearbhaile, I think it's going to be fairly simple to spell. It's going to just be 6 letters: Dearvla, and then it's going to be Byrne. So the usual Byrne. All right. But you have like fathers, you got a lot of I's in there. You have a whole different way of spelling Dearbhaile Beirne. So, do you ever run into problems like with like passports or driver license or anything for having your name spelled in that way?
Not really, no. I think my first name is the Irish spelling. When Mammy picked it, she wanted to make it something more complicated, I think, because there was no other Dearbhailes in Mohol at the time.
Yeah.
But no, I think when I was younger, I used to always get really offended because everyone used to spell it wrong. Obviously, like when I was playing matches or whatever, the reports were always wrong. I used to get kind of annoyed, but kind of get over that, as I got older.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and the match reports, of course. But you're a Mohol superstar, like sure, everybody gets your name right, I'm
I
sure.
don't know how to spell it now yet.
The honest spelling now, exactly. But what was I going to say? Yeah, see, I'm just saying, like, sort of honor amongst thieves, because Donica Colgan, while most people have a decent idea how to spell Donica, like, might put a DH then or whatever, there'll be a lot of people going in there with the DONICA and this kind of thing,
Oh God,
you know?
I've never heard of anyone spelling it like that before. Anyway.
And even when I just said Don, a lot of people will be going for, oh, Don, DAWN. So I feel
Yeah.
daunted. But also, I think you might be the first person that has a Wikipedia page that's after coming on the potty.
So I've Wikipedia page, do I?
You have a Wikipedia page, yeah, because I looked you up there. I just typed your name into Google,
Oh,
just to see if there's any juicy bits of info that I could bring up here and see how you reacted. And
yeah.
yeah, funny enough, I found a Wikipedia page. Do you want me to pull it up, actually?
Do yeah, that's interesting.
Let's go through it. Let's do a bit of screen sharing.
Yeah.
Oh, sugar. Screen share. Share. There we are. Dearbhaile Beirne, Wikipedia. I was like, this could be a different Dearbhaile. But then it says
The font
Dearbhaile
is
Beirne is an
there.
Irish dual code footballer from Mohill in County Leitrim.
Dual code, that's gas.
Well, is dual code, does that not normally reference like hurling and football?
That's what I would have thought, yeah. Um, that's funny.
So yeah, born the 5th of August 1998. Do you not create this, Dearbhaile? I think you might create this.
No, I did not.
But sure, how did I know that exact date?
Oh, it is Irish.
Like let's not pretend that you're, I don't know, that's common information in Ireland. The day Dearbhaile Beirne was born, but somehow they
That's
haven't.
weird. I don't know.
I wonder who did create.
Maybe it was from like they could have done them for the cup final or something.
Oh yeah, something like that.
A couple of
But
players, for the whatever. That's cool.
club career,
Cool.
2015, elevated from Shelbourne's youth team. So, when you were playing for Shelbourne for the youth team, did you have to like travel down the train still? And
Yeah. I've been going up and down to Dublin for training for the last what age am I? Like 8 years or something maybe.
so obviously at that stage you were like being driven by mammy or daddy.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I started going up in second year in school, I think, or third year. So like mum would pick me up from school. Well, most of the time training wasn't until 7 or 8, so I'd come home, get dinner, hop into the car, away to training, get home late, go to bed, go to school the next day.
How many
Simple
days a
enough.
week?
Well, normally I would have went to training like twice a week, and then you'd have your match at the weekend then. So yeah,
So yeah,
there's
that's a big old commitment. So that's 3 times a
no
week. And were you
over,
getting any like, were they covering expenses or anything?
No.
So it was literally just on you to get down from Mohill 3 times a week. That's some commitment.
Yeah, well, like if I wanted to play, it's what I had to do. Like, so, well, not what I had to do, what my parents had to do.
Yeah.
I
But
wouldn't want to fill up the car up with diesel.
was Keith playing or anything at that stage?
He was playing for a while, yeah. When I went up to Dublin, he went up as well at the same time. So I think it worked out for the first year or two. We were both like training the same night. So Mammy had dropped me a training and then bring him to training, wait for him, pick him up, and then come back and get me and then go home.
Ah, stop. Fair play to her.
Yeah, gas.
That's some going. But what age was he then at that stage?
Well, he's a year older than me, so I don't know. I was like 14, he would have been 15.
14 or 15.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so did he start training at the same time then, or like how did he get scouted?
I don't remember. It must have been from because he played at home here, obviously, and then he would have played in the Kennedy Cup and stuff. What age is the Kennedy Cup? That's
It's
younger, isn't it?
it's about 15 or 16. 16, I think.
So maybe it was from that or something. Or else it was like playing like you know the way you have them interleague competitions. So he could have played with the Longford League maybe, and then he got kind of brought up to Dublin from that, I think.
But if would he have been able to say? I know he became a professional soccer player for a brief period, didn't he? He did.
Yeah.
Who was he playing with?
Yeah, he was playing with Longford Town for a while. Because he was playing up in Dublin. He played with Joey's, and then I think Longford Town got on to him, and that was around. He was probably in fifth year leaving cert or something, so he came back down and he played with them for. He played with the 19s first, I think, and then he played with the seniors. He played with the seniors for a year or two, and then he quit.
And like, did he get paid much?
Not a whole pile. He didn't. He got a few games here and there, and then like.
Oh, you only get paid for games. You don't get a weekly thing then.
Oh, sorry, no, he got. I thought you said did he get played much?
Paid much.
Well, he got paid by week, I think, but it wasn't very much, like, because he was only young. Like, I don't know what the Longford players will be on now, but I can't imagine it's a hat of money anyway.
But how come he didn't stick with it? Like that's like the thing for every young lad to become a professional soccer player.
Yeah. He was playing with Mohol, obviously, in the GA as well. And I think there was a clash or something. There was a county final and there was, I don't know, Longford training or something. And after that, he just went with the GA. I think then they won the county final then. So he kind of just stuck with it.
That's mad. So if Longford had won a couple more games and maybe the GA hadn't won as well, we could have kept Beirne professional soccer player playing, say, in the championship. But I don't know who's like and not that good team in the championship. I'm trying to think.
In England, like?
Yeah, in England, yeah.
God, I don't have a clue.
Yes, you do. You know all the teams in the championship. I can't think of one.
Team,
a Reading. Reading are definitely
West Brom. Yeah, Reading are probably championship.
But West Brom are good. West Brom were in the Premier League for a long time.
Yeah, he could be, but yeah. Here we are. A Leitrim GAA player instead.
But do you get anything then for going up and down? I know you're still with Piedmont there at the minute.
No, unfortunately not. But again, like it's my choice. Like, so do you know what I mean? I want to play. And obviously the last 4 years I was in college in Dublin, so I wasn't a thing of traveling up and down. It was a thing of traveling 20 minutes from UCD out Piedmont, like, so. It's just the way things have worked out that I'm at home this year, so.
And then none of the girls, surely some of the girls get paid.
No, not in Piedmont anyway. They're trying to get like.
Definitely, Roach is definitely getting a couple of euro. He definitely is.
I don't know. There's been talk for so long about the league going professional and stuff, but yeah, it's not going to happen anyway in the near future. But
there is one team getting paid, isn't there? Like Cork City or something.
I don't think so. No, I think there was something that started here that one of the teams were bringing in expenses. I think that was Bowes maybe.
Yeah.
But again, they have a massive men's structure behind them, so it's not like in Piedmont we'll say the women's team is our main team, and then you've all the underage boys and girls. But like Bowes over there, like they have a massive structure already in place. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. so I assume they have the funds for it. Like, but Electricity are after coming in this year as our main sponsor as well. So they're sponsoring the men's league and the women's league. So hopefully that'll see a bit more funding going into things.
The men's league, yeah, for sure. But it's kind of funny, like, because women's teams, they have to either have, like, as you say, a men's team across all sports, either like the men, bringing them up, and sort of the women are always the lost leader, and
Yeah.
or as you say, have some big sponsorships. But there's not really many clubs that are just able to get by off, or like women's teams in sports in general that are able to pay themselves off of viewership.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I suppose like women's sport just doesn't bring enough revenue in. Like, even say for our games, there's only ever a handful of people at the games. So then when COVID restrictions and everything came in and the games are behind closed doors, that was no real difference to us because, do you know what I mean? There's no one really at the games anyway. So
yeah. But the funny thing is, like, from where I'm sitting, I see a lot of women and media. They're coming out against, like, oh, women should be paid more. Women should be getting the same amount as men because they put in as much effort and they train as much and this kind of thing. But I always wonder, like, I always think if the women are to be paid as much as the men, they need to be bringing in as much as the men. And the only way that's going to happen is if women who aren't soccer players, like who are just regular women, start going to, say, the P-mount matches.
Yeah,
Start buying tickets. Like, say, I might, well, not that I do, but if I was into soccer, I'd go to some, I might go to a Bohemians match, say.
I know, I get you. I mean, it makes sense, like, because, you need money to run the thing. So, like, the lads are getting out about what they put into it as such. And then I suppose it just so happens that, I don't know, whether, like, people start saying then about the standard and stuff. And, like, obviously the standard is going to be higher in a men's game, so more people will watch it and everything. But like you said, what were you going to say?
I think you'd be surprised. Brendan and myself, we were watching a men's game there. This is like 2 years ago. The last time I watched any League of Ireland, which is a horrible thing to say because it's great to have, like, the local teams and local clubs and whatnot. But anyway, we were watching this game between, I think it could have been the Hoops and
Rovers.
Yeah, and Bohemians as well, or maybe it was, like, I don't know who it was, but they were putrid. They were terrible. Like, we were just looking at them and we were laughing. We were just laughing about how bad they were. Now, maybe, like, that was a bad display, and obviously they're 100 times better than either of us could ever hope to be. But it was just so bad. Whereas when I turned over to the women's game, obviously you're not as strong or as that, as fast, or you can't kick the ball as far. But technically, the women didn't seem that much worse. So
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say on that.
Well, that's just my take as a guy who doesn't watch soccer that much. Like.
Yeah, see, you, like, that's the thing. You probably, like, as you said, you tuned into one game, like, and then you're kind of basing your whole perception of men's football in Ireland off that one game. So it's hard to know, but, like...
Yeah, exactly. Like, as in, I got the second half of your game against
Cork.
Against Cork, yeah, the cup final. Yeah. And for me, like, at this point, I'm now an expert on women's soccer in general. I sat there for 45 minutes. I watched every minute. And my only question, actually, is how come Stephanie Roach isn't considered the same as your Ronaldo's, your Messi's? I tuned in. I think she scored 3 goals in that second half. Or no, maybe it was 2, but there were 2 nice goals.
2, yeah. It's a good point. Like, yeah, but that's one game in the whole year that's televised.
I'm joking.
That's one game that everyone gets to see.
I'm just saying, like, as in, if I got out of prison, I'd never seen any news, and that was the first thing I saw, I'd be like, oh, I guess she's the world's best player now, you know?
Yeah. get RTE to all our games now, so next year.
Yeah, fact about it.
It's only
You're going to play next year, are you?
Am I going to play next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Well, you're doing the GAMSAT. So if you get the GAMSAT and you start studying medicine, at a certain point, you not think there won't be enough hours in the day.
Um, perhaps, but we'll worry about that when that comes.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll find time for it all somehow.
Which should be first to go, P-Mount or medicine?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
have to
we'll
see
jump
about
that bridge when we get to it.
Exactly. I've managed it all up to now, so
Yeah.
don't worry about that for a minute.
Okay, now I have more questions. You know, Darv, you can throw a question back to me or something like I'm doing
Oh,
all
you're
the
doing
heavy
good. You
lifting
keep
here.
going.
What?
You keep going. You're doing good. You keep going.
But I want you to ask me some questions so I can give my take. Even though people are tuning in for you, I want to be able to say my piece.
Okay. You can hit me with your next question, and I'll think of something for you then. I didn't know I was the one running the podcast, but anyway.
Today we're both on the podcast. I've done my part. I've got my new mic. I've got my camera. I've remembered to hit record. You know, I'm doing it all here.
You sure you've hit record now?
Yeah, I actually wasn't sure for a second, but yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
So yeah, I'm carrying this podcast on my back, but
as you should your podcast.
I wrote down 4 questions just so I'd be prepared.
Good.
So I had a section about your name. I think we covered that.
Yeah, we covered that well, I think.
More Irish name version of Dearbhaile, so yeah.
Yeah.
Enough support for women's sport. Yeah, we got through that.
Yep.
How much do you get paid? That was actually a very crass question. Probably. I probably shouldn't have written that down, but it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. So tell me, Donica, when the COVID restrictions lift, do you think you'll find yourself attending any women's soccer or any women's sports events in the future?
Yeah, I would have went up to that one in Portlaoise if I wasn't doing anything that day. You know, if I wasn't busy. Yeah. But it didn't turn out that way, and I didn't know if we'd be let in.
Yeah, I know everything's behind closed doors at the minute, so but then like I don't know when. Like there's nothing else. We're pretty much the only thing that's going ahead in Ireland at the minute. The men's and the women's soccer, and then obviously like bits of athletics and stuff. But I don't know when anything will be allowed open up fully again. Even if the GA starts again, it's probably going to be behind closed doors again for a while. So I mean, hopefully by the cup final next December, if we make it.
Well, what's crazy is that there's still people over 85 here in Ireland getting vaccinated. Whereas,
I know, yeah.
If you look over there to the UK, there's like not necessarily people our age, but youngish people, and they're getting vaccinated. So
I know, yeah.
I wonder how we're so far behind.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense because like they've had nearly. So this whole thing started a year ago in Ireland anyway, like, and they knew there was a point going to come where a vaccination would be made and everyone would have to be vaccinated. Like, yet they didn't have any sort of a concrete plan in place. So like, even they got some of the doses of the vaccine before Christmas, they weren't ready to start giving it out. And that made no sense because they lost 2 or 3 weeks there. Like they could have got a certain group vaccinated before Christmas, then the next dose was in, they would have got them done out of the way. Like, but I seen today that they've already fallen behind their 100,000 a week like target for last week.
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't really make sense. If
100,000 a week.
That was their target, yeah, 100,000.
I didn't hear that now, yeah. That's
I think they've seen it on North or something. But it just it doesn't really make sense because we are such a small. I know 4.5 million or 5 million. It's a lot of people, but like in comparison to other countries, we're tiny. Like, so there's no reason why we shouldn't have a lot more people vaccinated and be on our way back to.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say, and I agree with you, is that Micheál Martin is a bum. He doesn't know how to run a country. I mean, not that necessarily anyone does know how to run a country, but he knows the least of all the available candidates how to run
Yeah.
a country properly. But I don't know. They just didn't do a good job, I suppose, securing enough vaccines, and then they didn't
No.
do a good job with distribution. I mean, like, if you can't get the vaccines, that's one thing, but definitely being able to distribute them shouldn't be a problem because we
Yeah,
have
and when
like
you have
a
them,
good health service.
and then when they get them in, like they need to get them out just as quick. And then like I know there was cases where I remember there was a hospital, I think it was the Coombe in Dublin or whatever, where a doctor like called his own family members in and got them vaccinated, and then like I don't know, I think there was only a couple of spare doses or something. So like the vaccines, once they come out of the storage, they only have like a shelf life of 4 hours or something. So they obviously didn't have things planned out enough. They didn't have enough people penciled in, or whether people didn't turn up or what, I don't know. So then he rang his family members and like told them to get into the hospital and that there was a vaccine there for them, which I think was fair enough. Like you don't want to be throwing the vaccine out and wasting it. It was wrong that they didn't have it planned, but then he was getting in trouble for doing that. Like I think that was it was good. Like he reacted on instinct, and at the end of the day, like there was no point throwing the vaccines out, but it just begs the question again: where's the planning?
Yeah,
So I don't really know.
100%. I'm trying to look it up here at the minute. So I have the Irish Times. I'll pull this up
Is there
on
an article?
what's that?
Is there an article there on it?
There's an article. I'm going to pull it up and let's read it together, Curves. Let's read it together. Let me see. Okay, Irish Times. I'm just going to go ahead and accept them.
Okay,
Normally,
yeah.
what's
No, I
that?
was going to say 16. I knew it was 16 people.
You've got that medicine brain. You retain information at a high rate. I rate that. Okay, two children of. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. It's a little bit far out, don't you think?
No, I can see it. It's okay.
Okay, maybe your eyes are better than mine. Actually, no, it is. I'm 3 feet away from
You're further
the
away.
laptop here at the minute. What?
You're further away. That's okay.
But it's not my eyes. I'm just further away. Two children of Master of Coombe Maternity Hospital understood to be among those vaccinated. Children are the least people who need it.
I know, yeah.
Anyone.
But still, like, at least the vaccines weren't wasted. That's the other side of it.
Okay. Let's get the facts here, Darrell, before you start throwing out your opinions left and right. Michael O'Connell, the hospital manager, said he now regrets the relatives of hospital employees who were vaccinated with doses left over on Friday, January 8th, after more than 1,100 doses were given to frontline staff, GPs, and local community health workers. Okay, so that was January 8th, so it was even more of an issue then, like, where a lot of people who were vulnerable hadn't been vaccinated.
I hadn't even got it at that stage, I suppose, yeah.
Made every effort. In hindsight, his master deep regret.
Interesting.
Okay. Prioritization. Damn, just give me the information. I want to see. Okay, it does not include family members of healthcare workers.
Oh, the strategy, yeah.
To ensure family were not wasted. Okay, they were administered to family members to ensure they were not wasted. It's disgraceful that the master of the hospital arranged for his children to get the vaccine. I mean, yeah, I agree with your take. Like, if they're going to be wasted, give
There's no point throwing them out.
Yeah, 100%.
We probably won't. I don't know when we'll even get vaccinated. Probably like August or September at this rate.
Even that's a bit ambitious, I'd say.
Even, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Like, we're most definitely the last but last to get vaccinated.
That's their plan without even vaccinating children, isn't it?
How do you mean?
They haven't even looked at, like, so we're adults, we're what, 20, 21, 22, like. But remember the plan that they said that they'd hope to have.
Okay, well, I'm 22. You're 23, no?
No, I'm 22.
When's your birthday?
August.
Oh, as the Wikipedia said, I should just look at Wikipedia.
Yeah.
That's mad. You didn't do TY then, obviously.
No, I didn't do TY. Okay. I skipped it. I was going to do it, and then I was all for it, and then I don't know. I just changed my mind because they don't really do that in our school anyway. There's no like trips away or no events really. It's kind of shitty, yeah.
But then
Why did you not do it?
did most of the people in your year end up doing it?
No, there's only a few. I think there's only like 20 something in the class altogether.
There was only 20 something in your whole year.
No, that's on TY.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
no,
I don't know. I didn't do it because I thought it was a bit of a waste also. But then in hindsight, like, I was quite young going to college. So I was 17 when I went to college. And I didn't turn 18 until January. You know, college only lasts till about May, like, so I was only able to, I only had ID for 4 months the first year. You know what I mean? Well, that's the way it was. But I don't know, maybe a bit more maturity wouldn't be any harm. So maybe it's not a bad thing from that perspective.
Yeah, it's good for some people, I suppose. But I just felt that if I done it and didn't do any like work for the whole year, I wouldn't get back into it in fifth year or whatever. Do you know if you don't do any like?
Yeah.
I think in our school they do a bit of maths and English and stuff, but like I just felt I needed to keep going.
Same as ours, but what I did was I treated fifth year as my TY. So I didn't do any study at all during fifth year. And then when it came to sixth year, I started doing study. And then when it came to Christmas sixth year, I did a lot of study. But yeah, I had a nice little break in fifth year.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well learned.
What subject were we on before we got derailed by that? Vaccines.
Oh, yeah.
We won't get vaccinated for a while.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
I do hope the festivals can go ahead this year. That's the one thing that I'm about.
You're holding on to that hope, are you?
Look, EP comes around in September. All I'm saying is,
I'd say it'd be a long shot.
Let's get it.
It'll be a long shot because we're going to be in lockdown now until May probably. Didn't he say May that? Well, it's supposed to be April 5th, but like it was April 5th, but they're going to extend it until the 5th of May because he leaked that in a newspaper interview or something.
That was Leo Varadkar that leaked it, wasn't it?
Yeah. So if we start opening up from the 5th of May, say we go down to level 4 maybe for the rest of May or whatever, maybe get into level 3 end of June, like we'll probably have a bit of a summer, June, July, August. You'd imagine
summer. Go ahead.
You'd imagine like a similar thing will happen to last year then, when everyone kind of goes mad over the summer, and then cases are going to probably get high again around September, and we might be locked up again by then because everyone won't be vaccinated. There'll only be, if everyone, like, there might be, I don't know, but everyone's not going to have their 2 doses anyway. The herd immunity isn't going to be there, and then the kids are all going to go back to school again, and yeah, it's just hard to see.
Yeah, 100%. The thing about the summer is that although people are interacting more, it doesn't seem like it spreads as much because they're outside.
Yeah.
I don't know, I suppose the temperature is a bit higher. There's a couple of factors that it just doesn't spread, whereas during the winter, obviously cases went mad. But I think, remember, we had fairly low cases. We were getting about 20, 30 cases a day coming up to Christmas. And then everybody said, or the government said, let's have a good Christmas. Pubs opened up. Everybody just had their normal Christmas. And ever since then, there's been thousands of cases per day, and there's been tens of deaths per day. So I think if that hadn't went ahead, we would have been fine, but that's sort of where they messed up.
I think the travel was more the bigger problem at Christmas, I felt anyway. I know there's like, obviously the pubs were a problem as well, but then there was a certain amount of pubs and restaurants that were by the book, like, and they were doing it properly. But then of course you would have certain ones down the countryside that don't be following any of the guidelines. But there was thousands of people through Dublin airport.
My uncle's pub, Tara,
3 or 4 weeks in December.
You're after freezing me there, nervous. But I was going to say that the Tara, my uncle's pub, they were really.
What are you saying? Sorry.
The Tara, my uncle's pub, they were really concerned with doing things properly, as you say, and you know, abiding to the regulations. But definitely I saw a lot of pubs where that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And you can imagine where it's spread there. But you were saying the airport. You were saying something about
Yeah. So there was thousands of people, like, people were advised not to come home for Christmas. And if you did, like, do your 2 weeks or whatever. And so, like, even then when say all the flights from England were cancelled, all these people were saying they were stuck over in the airport in Heathrow, yet if they were coming home to do their quarantine, they should have been long home. They shouldn't have been travelling on the 23rd, the 24th of December. And saying that, like, myself and Michelle were up in Dublin, I think it was around that time, maybe around the 20th or the 21st. And we were on the train, like, coming back down. And there's a girl who gets in one of the 2 or 3 of the seats down from us, like, and she's on the phone. And she's so arrogant. And she's there telling her, whoever she's talking to on the phone, that, yeah, she was just after getting into the airport last night, got her taxi into town, or stayed with someone last night, got her taxi back into town, and then she's sitting on a train down the country, down to Sligo or whatever. That just, like, I couldn't believe it. Like,
oh my
she was
goodness,
being so arrogant about it, and she was shouting it down the train, and you're thinking, what is she doing? So she's already travelled. She stood in Heathrow Airport last night for 4 or 5 hours waiting for a flight with thousands of people with this new variant in England or whatever. She's flown home. She's interacted with loads more people in Dublin Airport. She stayed at someone else's house last night, and she got a taxi into town. So the amount of people she's potentially infected, to come home for her Christmas dinner, to infect her family, to go back and do the whole thing again, like, that just doesn't make sense anyway. And I'm sure there was lots of other people that done it too.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's just not enough fear about the coronavirus at this point. Like, remember the very start, there was that story of this lad came home from England, I think, and his old lad, who was from Longford or Leitrim, I think it could have been Longford, went down with the cattle trailer, the Ivor Williams, and put him in the back, which was the correct thing to do, and told him to stay in the shed there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then come talk to us. But at that point, that's why everything was being kept under control, because we had a bit of fear. If we had that same level of fear now, there wouldn't be, anything like what's happening.
I think people are just getting kind of fed up as well now, though.
I think it's.
But even, did you see?
Go on.
Did you see in Limerick last night? There was a big street party or something, and like there was I don't know, hundreds of young people there as well. But I suppose young people definitely don't have the same fear elements. But then, like, you don't want to bring it home to your parents or your grandparents or whatever, who probably are more vulnerable. So I don't know.
I mean, I definitely don't want it anyway. Like, I haven't seen anybody but my family really for the last 2 weeks. So I'm going hard.
Yeah.
But I think I just say it's a mixture of a lack of fear and too much stupidity. I think in circumstances like these, you see a lot of people come out who aren't that intelligent. Like those people who were going and fighting with the guards in big groups, which is fine. Like, I'm sure some of them were perfectly intelligent people, but some of the interviews that I saw and that I read in the paper, and they were talking about just all these conspiracies with the government, as in they're like, the government has all these dead babies and they're burying them under the new children's hospital, and we're trying to stop that. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like,
I don't know how they come up with these things, but then again, like, you have to think, like, throughout this, I have a good family network, and then I have my sport, like, so I don't mind I don't mind the restrictions.
And you remember big into going out anyway either. Like.
No, so like, I'm happy enough. Like, you have your farm and you have your family as well. Like, so to an extent, it doesn't really affect you as much either. Whereas you would kind of feel sorry for people that don't have a good network around them, because it probably is very isolating for them and stuff. So I don't know. There's a lot of different angles you need to look at it from, as well, you know.
Oh, I'm not saying that's not difficult for people.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
For sure, like, the difficult thing, but at the same time, you have to just think that
being alive is better.
What's that?
Like, being alive and healthy is, I'm sure.
Exactly, yeah. And there's better ways to express your frustration with what's happening that to go out and try and launch fireworks at the guards. You know?
I think they have your man in custody, I think, anyway. Well, so I read earlier.
Good.
I think
look, tell you the truth, Dearbhaile, I'm on the mic here. We're broadcasting this. I'm not broadcasting. I'm going to download and upload it there. But I haven't seen the news in about 3 weeks. I don't have a television here. My only source of news is our Wall Street bets and the occasional read of the Farmers Journal. That's the only my only interaction with the outside world. You know what I mean?
Read the Farmers Journal.
Well, what's that?
You read the Farmers Journal?
I do bits, yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
anything interesting?
Let me see. Anything interesting? Oh, look at you being the interviewer now. Is that it? Being the little host, Dearbhaile, the host, Beirne. Yeah. So she paid €7 kilo there this week, which is crazy. Sheep prices are so high, which I don't know. It's great to see. And then cattle prices are so low. Cattle are about €3.80 kilo, so they're nearly half the price of sheep.
Jesus.
In the factories, yeah.
You want to get into the sheep now, so instead.
I was going to get into the sheep. I was planning to get into the sheep this time last year, and I just. You should have. Yeah, obviously I should have, but I didn't pull the trigger. So.
Did you ever have sheep?
When I was really little, when I was out 5, we had sheep, and then they got rid of them. There was just too much work on them for what he was making.
I remember we had 5 or 6 one. Like Daddy had them years ago when we were like tiny, but a few years ago he got 5 or 6 or something. And then they obviously had lambs, so we had about like 12 or 13 of them running around. But they were, like you said, they were just so hard managed. You'd be out chasing them and get nowhere with them.
You're fit though.
End up losing.
But
that's one thing,
yeah, I got a sheep actually off my uncle from my communion. So I was 7, 8 years old, and I got this ewe, and she had 1 lamb. Put her down in the fields, which was grand. I used to bring her meal every day for the 5 days that I had her. And then one day she just wasn't there. Obviously, she went off with some other sheep. Or no, she broke out and went on an adventure. And we looked all over the place, and she was nowhere to be found.
Oh, that's sad.
And I've never had sheep since. Yeah.
Scared. You would have made a nice little dollar out of that as well for your communion, like.
I would have.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose probably at the time sheep probably were €120 or whatever they were, maybe €150 for you.
It's more money than I would have got off my uncles for my communion.
Oh, definitely. That was my godfather, actually.
Nice.
He never really gave me anything since, but which is fair enough. I mean, he gave me 1 sheep and essentially so can't blame him.
Oh well, you can't win them all.
But anyway, Dearbhaile, while we're not on the subject at all, I wanted to bring up your goal of the year. So remember there, 3-4 months ago, you were bringing the ball up along the left wing. Don't know who it was against. You cut in the right, took a little touch, and then bang into the left-hand corner.
Into the right-hand corner, trickled in from the edge of the box.
And the goalkeeper could do nothing but try and dive after it, actually, but also helplessly look on.
Yeah. I think that was the cup semi-final against Wexford, I believe. But yeah, I never cut in. I always go to the end line, but I cut in that day, and it literally trickled into the corner. Our striker slid in to try and get a touch on it, and she missed it. I think that put the keeper off. And all worked out well in there. I think so, yeah.
I'm trying to pull it up here, but it's clearly not famous enough.
No, you won't be able to find it.
Look, it is what it is. But I have found an interview of you here, so I'm going to pull that up just for the lols.
Oh God. Don't.
It's happening.
What is it?
There's Dearbhaile after the interim LGFA IFC final. Mohill 307, Drummahere 103.
Take that off, Don.
Looking good there.
Oh my God, that's awful.
What's going on with your man in the back with the green hair?
Oh, he comes to he's from Mohill originally. but he's like lived in Cavan or whatever for years. And then when we were in the county final in 17, he just appeared. We'd never even seen him before, and he appeared in this green wig, and it's come to every Mohel final since.
Oh, just the finals. He doesn't go to the matches like.
Well, he goes to the group. He goes to the other games or whatever. But the green wig always comes out for the finals anyway.
Have you ever spoken to him?
Oh yeah, I know. Like we all know him. Like,
oh, that's pretty cool.
We know him now, but he's a fucking plague.
Stop there.
We know him now, but we didn't back then.
That's crazy. I might start doing that.
What's the Rathvilly colours actually?
So it's green and not that dissimilar to yours actually. It's green and yellow. So you have the white, we have the yellow. Nice jerseys, like very nice jerseys. People always mistaken for the Kerry jerseys.
Oh really? Oh, that's nice.
Well, like when I used to be up in Dublin and I'd occasionally wear the Rathvilly, training top or whatever. Yeah. Like, oh, he's from Dublin or he's from Kerry. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
So yeah, that kind of put in on my sales. I was hoping I could put up your goal and we could break it down here for the audience.
I'll try and put it up.
I'll try and put it up. Give me some search terms.
Well, I might be able to get it for you. Hold on a second.
Oh, so you probably have it on your phone or whatever.
I might have it here on the WhatsApp. 1 second.
Oh, the WhatsApp.
Well, like the team WhatsApp or whatever.
Oh, we're getting high tech now.
Yeah, if it's. Oh no, that's hold on. It really is. It's a pretty shitty goal, but
it's a what?
Won the game, so it's a pretty shitty goal. It's not really worth finding.
The decisive cracker of a goal, Dearbhaile. Let's not talk down about your goal.
Oh, it's far from.
This is actually what it is. So anyway, while you're there looking on your WhatsApp, I'm just going to bring the viewers through my new setup. So as you can see, I've got the camera up top, and it's a new camera, Unreal HD in it and whatnot. Can see all what's happening. I'm just going to show you real quick. This is for the viewers, though. It's not for you.
I know that's okay. What
my last camera was like. So I'm going to switch to it there now, and that's me with my old camera. Now switch back to the HD. Okay, and I'm just going to show you my little microphone setup as well. So this was an old lamp. So it was just a little, bedside lamp or whatever. So I took the lamp out, it was broken, and I put the microphone up top. So it works perfectly as a boom mic now. So I can just lean into it here and get that good sound quality, you know yourself. So currently I'm waiting on Dearbhaile to
I think we have it here.
Put up her goal, and I think she might have it.
How do I share my screen then?
So it says, okay.
Oh yeah, share screen.
You just click that share screen button there.
Host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Okay, I'm going to have to sort that. Okay, try it there now. As you can see, this is an unprofessional podcast. So don't judge too harshly.
Can you see anything yet?
What's that?
Can you see anything yet?
Nope. Okay, we're back. And we got Dearbhaile's goal. It's coming up here. Let's see if she breaks it down.
Oh, you can break it down.
Okay.
I'll play it.
Let's play. That's pretty choppy. So we've got about 10 frames per second here at the minute. Dearbhaile, she's coming real quick. I think this could be sped up. And she just swings at it. Striker slides in. It trickles in the bottom corner. And then she does the airplane. Big celebration.
Yeah, so there you have it.
Is this like a collection of pictures or is this a video?
No, it's the video. Is it not playing properly?
It kind of seems like a slideshow almost at the frame right it's coming over at.
Playing like a video for me.
Oh, is it? Maybe it's just because you're screen sharing. Okay, she's coming down the left wing. Boom, boom, boom. Does it? Oh, she swings in with the left foot. That's not unorthodox. And it comes. Wow.
What's the right foot?
No, you turned in with the left foot, didn't you?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Did that play like a video there, or did it play
Yeah,
like
it did.
photos?
Yeah. Will you go back one more time? I want to hear your thoughts here. So what's going through your head
What's going through my head?
when you get this ball? Okay, so now you're
See,
on the ball. Okay, pause.
I normally always go like to the end line, so I just try and knock it by the player and go to the end line. And I don't really know why I didn't do that, but yeah, I just kind of
Just
turned
felt something.
inside and swung a boot at it. I don't know whether I was crossing or whether I was shooting or not, but it all worked out anyway.
Powerful. From outside the box, you normally don't see girls score from that far out, so that's super impressive.
I'd say in my mind I was probably aiming for that top far right corner, swing it from the edge of the box, but didn't really take flight at all.
You saw your name in lights and it worked out.
I shanked it and it just about worked out.
No, that's a good strike. It's an accurate strike, which is the most important thing, I suppose. Like even if the goalkeeper had got to that.
Yeah.
Will you go back again there one more time? I was just going to make an observation.
Okay.
So who's the striker that slides for that?
That'd be Eleanor. Yeah, Eleanor.
Okay, so bring it back across. Okay, now Eleanor, as the ball is coming in, she's looking at it and she goes to slide in after it. Which, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is the wrong move. If you can just bring that back one more time. Because if the goalkeeper gets across that and palms it away, you want to be there to get the rebound set.
Yeah. But if she makes that and gets a touch on it, she's going to go back across the goalkeeper into the bottom left corner,
Yeah, but she was nowhere close. She was at least a foot or two away from it. And it wasn't like your ball had such pace on it that it was hard to judge or something.
I suppose if she was a second earlier, she would have made it.
Yeah.
But then I think there was other players coming in as well. I see there's another girl at the back. There's two more there.
Yeah.
Around the 6-yard box. So if the goalkeeper stops or whatever, they're kind of there to pick it up anyway.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, let's go. So you can stop the share there on the top. Let me see what's good. Damn, yeah, that was a good breakdown, Dearbhaile. You could be the next Brian Kerr or Eamon Dunphy. So. You know what I mean? Damn, yeah.
Any other questions on that sheet?
No, I had 4 questions, and none of them were good. But I am happy to get the opinions of an Irish women's soccer player on the current COVID situation.
That's good. So the conversation recently. Yeah.
That's really definitely something that's come out of this.
Somewhere in the middle there.
But man, Dearbhaile Beirne has the Wikipedia page. That is just great. Okay, now.
Oh God.
Okay, now I'm just gonna share the screen one more time, just so we can go over that because I'm after spotting something here. So share. Okay, so now we're at senior. Okay, so she's on the senior national team for the first time in summer 2017 for 2 friendlies against Iceland and Scotland. How come you didn't go up after 2017? Because presumably you're a better player now 4 years later.
Yeah. I think, as Brendan Byrne once said, I think I peaked in 2017.
Hardly, did you?
No, I don't know. I suppose there's different managers and stuff, and they like different players, and then I don't know. Maybe someday again in the future, we'll see.
Hopefully.